The gazing eye sees the fate of the world. The future. It's already been written.
There is still tons about our grand villain Master Xehanort we don't know, mostly involving his younger years as a Keyblade wielder in training. Even though we've seen plenty of young Xehanort at this point, we know nothing of his come-up, his past, really anything other than he was friends with Ericus, grew up on Destiny Islands, and at some point was trained to be a Keyblade wielder in Scala at Kylum. The relationship he had with Master Ericus seemed to be a special one, though by the time they grew older, it seems like they grew apart due to opposing goals and philosophies. Master Ericus, similar to other Guardians of Light, is a strong ambassador for the light, and he seems to only deal in absolutes, while Master Xehanort wishes to explore all the darkness contains, or at least that's what they seem to make it. Maybe Xehanort hasn't really been himself for a long time. Maybe Xehanort's similar to a Master Ava, or even a Brain in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross if they go this direction with him, is obsessed with changing his fate, or maybe he knew all along and simply accepted it. I've been having these weird thoughts lately. I feel like Master Xehanort has read the Book of Prophecies. I'll lump Ericus in there as well. I think they know the contents of the book. I have some pretty decent reasons for thinking so as well, that I hope you stick around to listen to. But how's it going, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and welcome to another video on the channel. Today, guys, I have a topic that's been on my mind for a little bit that I can't shake. I even asked some of you guys what you think about this in my community tab, and an overwhelming amount of you seemed to agree with me, and further sparked me to create this video. But without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy as I bring to you why Master Xehanort might have read the Book of Prophecies, and what this could mean for the series moving forward.
On that land shall darkness prevail and light expire. A prospective Keyblade master should know this.
If you say so.
The gazing eye sees the fate of the world. The future. It's already been written.
Really? I'm not so sure about that. Besides, who's to say I can't change it? And maybe light will prevail.
Pretty confident. But things aren't in your favor.
Perhaps, but unlike darkness, there is more to light than meets the eye. You might be surprised.
Oh, I hope so.
First, we need to understand Xehanort a little bit more, and two very good places to do that aren't in any cutscenes. It's actually in the secret reports for Kingdom Hearts 3 and Birth by Sleep. Xehanort's motives are not that complex. They are pretty simple at a surface level. Xehanort believes light and darkness should exist in equilibrium, but thinks that the balance is off with darkness not being as powerful, which is weird because that completely contradicts what every other Keyblade wielder has told us pretty much. The world's being split and almost overrun with darkness. It's the biggest reason we spend all that time in Disney Worlds and Kingdom Hearts games to keep it at bay. Sealing up keyholes, fighting nobodies, unversed, etc, etc. There seems to be some problem going on with the worlds very often in the Kingdom Hearts games we play. Xehanort, though, thinks otherwise. Maybe he was influenced to think that way? Anyways, Xehanort believes that the only way light and darkness will be equal again is if he has control over everything, and if the world resets. Reading the Xehanort reports from Birth by Sleep, he constantly talks about how the one to open the door to Kingdom Hearts has a chance to control pretty much all, which explains a lot of his actions in both Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 3, though there's a couple of weird things in the reports, a very noticeable gap in personality and maybe motives. We've all kind of thought about it, but never dove deeper. I mean, how did this seemingly light-hearted boy who was best friends with Ericus all of a sudden want to rule the world? How did he get obsessed with using darkness to achieve his goals? Well, let's look at Xehanort report number 1 and part of number 2. Much time has passed since I left the home of my youth behind, and in the myriad of worlds I have since visited, I have gained such knowledge. On these pages, I intend to record a portion of that knowledge and put the course of my life to paper. Upon reflection, my life underwent the most considerable sea change when I arrived at that place. Yes, it began when I found a master, and another I would later call my brother, when I found a new home. Then there was the Keyblade. For what purpose was it begotten, and by whom? During my training as one of its wielders, the precepts offered a clear answer. The Keyblade existed so that we who watched over the light could protect the world from the shadows. But was that the true answer? Could there not be more to it than that? My heart sought knowledge, and so I sometimes visited other worlds, though such travel was forbidden unless duty required, and found what my heart sought. Now let's continue with report number 2, but I'm only going to read the first part of this one. Our master instructed us to don armor while traveling between worlds, so that we might shield ourselves from the darkness. But there in the lanes between, I could feel the force of it, the power, and from then on, I forewent my armor's protection. I had been told the darkness would devour me, but what terrors could it possibly hold, so long as I found the strength to control it? So, Xehanort already seemed to be a rule breaker, his curiosity overpowering him. Through this, the act of visiting other worlds, he found what his heart sought. After he finds this answer, you can read the rest of the reports yourself. He has a very different tone. He seems a lot more determined and is eager to find out even more, and eventually comes to a conclusion that leads him to a conflict with Ericus and with him leaving his world. He talks lots about this actually in Xehanort's letter, which I'll also read. Please accept my deepest gratitude for the invitation to witness your pupil's accession to the office of true Keyblade Master. It was a heavy mantle our master placed upon your shoulders, naming you successor, but you have nonetheless persevered and raised 2 masters yourself. I know it cannot have been easy. I did you terrible harm in the past over a petty difference in opinion, and just a few years ago selfishly thrust my own burdens upon you. I think of you like a younger brother, and yet, fool that I am, I have never availed myself of countless opportunities to apologize or thank you for opening your home to the boy, yet not once have you blamed me. On the contrary, here you are inviting me to such an important ceremony. I intend to be there to offer you all my blessings. Our master chose his heir wisely. Ours is a bizarrely ironic task, to watch over the light from the shadows. But in the face of that, the warmth in your heart and unfailing dedication to the light impress me to no end. I have taken to wandering the world and seen much darkness hiding in the light. Lately, I fear it has taken a turn for the worse. Perhaps Yen Sid has already told you about the unverse. These fledgling emotions derive from negativity, and I can now sense their presence in nearly every world. And on the topic of darkness, we must speak of another matter that concerns me, one related to the upcoming ceremony. When I visited several years ago, your pupil Terra drew my attention. His power is immense, to be sure, but within his heart, I could see darkness just waiting to be awakened. I know this is none of my business, but I have reservations about welcoming Terra as a true Keyblade Master without taking certain precautions. The traditional examination perhaps, to see if he has the mark of mastery. The choice is yours, and I will humbly respect your decision. Take care. I eagerly await our long overdue reunion. Xehanort is a man who wants to find out so much. He wants the answers to everything, but he is tied down to the aging process, which leads him to Terra, and you know the story from then on. I'm especially curious as to what Xehanort found, or maybe who. Could it be the person in the Remind trailer, the Master of Masters, or Blueshoe? Regardless of who it would be, either of them being there at all would be a pretty big deal, especially if they told him about the past and maybe even the book or the box. In Kingdom Hearts 3 Secret Reports, it said Xehanort undergoes his Mark of Mastery, and his version of it, which is unique to him, makes him the first to tour the world written of in the old fairy tales, a direct quote from the passage. This likely being the same thing we see in the Remind trailer due to the wording of World Tour by the robed figure, which Xehanort follows up with in a awful way. I realize just how necessary I am, which is extremely weird wording. After exploring the lands of fairy tales, he had a realization to himself to save the world, this Mark of Mastery exam potentially being another major turning point for his character. But why though? Once again, what did he see? What exactly did he see in these worlds? What were the answers that he sought? Were they answers about the Keyblade? Were they answers about Kingdom Hearts? Were they answers about Keyblade society and its history? We don't find out about any of this from Old Man Xehanort, who seems to be working off of the same ambitions he had in his later youth. In Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, the Master of Masters said the Book of Prophecies is shaping the next world after this world in many ways. You can see the influence from what only really could be the Book of Prophecies throughout the little you're able to explore in Scarlet Kylum everywhere. I mean, the Book of Prophecies influence could be a very easy explanation of where they got the logos of the chess pieces from. I can imagine a world with a few Keyblade wielders who are alive being guided by the book. It would make a little bit of sense. From what Master Xehanort describes in his secret reports, they seem to be going on similar missions to protect worlds that they were in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, though seemingly on a smaller scale. I think Xehanort has seen the Book of Prophecies and knows of its existence. It's possible he's even read it, along with Ericus. Maybe not the full thing, but I think it plays a heavy hand in both their training and knowledge of the world. Does Brain use pages of this book to teach young Keyblade wielders in the next world? The Master said if anyone but the person circled in red sees it, it could be bad, though Ava gave the book to a completely different person, as we found out in a recent Union Cross update as of this video's recording, and maybe Brain is taking that a step further even by using it to build the next world. I believe Xehanort read something that maybe he shouldn't have, which prompts him sometime during his boyhood, whether it's due to an encounter with a certain robed figure or on his own accord to side with darkness and lash out against his and the Keyblade wielder's destiny. The Master says the Keyblade War has been going on for quite some time, and rather than the Keyblade War finally beginning, it may finally be coming to an end. So there's no real reason to believe that just because the Union leaders create a new world, that it won't lead them to the same fate. A war. I think Xehanort read a certain line from the Book of Prophecies, and I think Xehanort thought that line was referring to him. This kind of all goes back to the chessboard scene that started the whole game. Xehanort knows about the Gazing Eye, he knows what the last passage says in the Book of Prophecies, and he also knows about Kingdom Hearts, the Keyblade, and has toured the era of fairy tales. Even Ericus asks him, where did you hear that, when Xehanort mentions the Lost Masters. During the cutscenes in this chess game, in multiple instances, it's as if Xehanort is taunting Ericus, trying to show off his knowledge. They try to make you doubt all of these things by throwing off the final passage by having Sora win against Master Xehanort and having this young Xehanort be all friendly with Ericus when the chess game is over. Though it's clear there's something even bigger that Nomura is hiding in this time period where Ericus and Xehanort are just boys playing chess. But my brain is pretty much fried at this point, though I think you can see why I would think Xehanort has read the Book of Prophecies or a page or something, which seems to be a driving factor in a lot of his decisions. Though this does beg the question, did he know about his death in Kingdom Hearts 3? Did he know he was going to lose? Or did he think he was going to win? But they'll probably elaborate more on that in Remind itself. But that's it for me though. If you enjoyed today's video, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the Union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.
Good game today.
I try.
Maybe I won't go as far as you.
Huh?
When the world needs a defender, they'll pick you, Ericus.
Huh? You think?
But that doesn't mean that I can't be there for you.
Yeah, and I'll be there for you.